She never imagined that a bottle of medicine would reveal exactly how little she mattered to the people she loved most. For years, Emily told herself there had to be a reason. Her parents always chose her younger sister. Maybe Rachel needed more attention. Maybe things would become fair one day. Maybe if she worked harder, studied harder, and complained less, her parents would finally see her. But they never did. And the decision they made when Emily was 19 years old would change her life forever. A hidden family truth was quietly taking shape. A painful betrayal was about to push her to her breaking point. And 8 years later, the same people who refused to help her would come begging for something they never thought they would need. Her help. But they didn't know. Emily was no longer the quiet girl they used to ignore. This is Broken Then Powerful, where pain turns into power. Emily Harper grew up in a small town outside Chicago. From the outside, her family looked happy. Her father owned a construction company. Her mother was active in the community, and her younger sister Rachel was the pride of the family. Rachel was outgoing, confident, popular, the type of person who naturally attracted attention. Emily was different. Quiet, kind, hardworking, the type of person who helped everyone around her while quietly carrying her own struggles. Unfortunately, those qualities were almost invisible inside her own home. As a child, Emily noticed small things. When Rachel got average grades, her parents celebrated. When Emily earned straight A's, they barely reacted. When Rachel wanted new clothes, she got them. When Emily needed something, she was told to wait. At first, Emily convinced herself she was imagining it. But deep down, she knew the truth. She simply mattered less. Still, she loved her family. Still, she kept trying. Still, she hoped. That was her biggest mistake. When Emily turned 19, she was accepted into one of the best nursing programs in the state. It was the proudest day of her life. She still remembered running into the kitchen holding the acceptance letter. "Mom, Dad, I got in!" Her hands were shaking with excitement. She expected hugs. She expected smiles. She expected someone to tell her they were proud. Instead, her parents exchanged uncomfortable looks. A cold feeling settled in her stomach. Something wasn't right. A few minutes later, they sat down at the dining room table. Her father cleared his throat. "We need to talk." Emily's smile faded. Rachel had recently been accepted into a prestigious private university. The tuition was expensive, very expensive, and according to her parents, there wasn't enough money for both daughters. Emily stared at them. "What does that mean?" Her mother avoided eye contact. "We've decided to pay for Rachel's education." Emily blinked. "And mine?" Silence. The answer was already there. Her father finally spoke. "We can't afford both." Emily felt her chest tighten. "But I've worked for this my whole life." Then came the sentence she would never forget. "Rachel has more potential." The words hit harder than a punch. Rachel has more potential. Not better grades. Not more dedication. Not more effort. More potential. Emily forced a smile. But later that night, she cried into her pillow until sunrise. Nobody noticed. Nobody asked. Nobody cared. Months later, life became even harder. After experiencing constant fatigue and health issues, Emily visited a doctor. The diagnosis changed everything. She had a medical condition that required ongoing treatment and medication. Without treatment, her health would continue getting worse. The medication was expensive. Terrified, Emily returned home. Surely this time her parents would help. After all, they were spending thousands of dollars on Rachel's tuition. This wasn't about college. This was about her health. This was about her future. This was about survival. Sitting across from them at the dinner table, Emily explained everything. The diagnosis, the treatment, the cost. Then she waited. Her father's answer came immediately. "No." Emily froze. "No? We already have enough expenses." Her mother remained silent. Rachel remained silent. The entire room remained silent, except for Emily's heartbeat. "This is medicine," she whispered. "I need this." Her father shrugged. "We can't help." At that moment, something inside Emily broke. Not loudly, not dramatically, quietly. The way trust breaks, the way hope dies, the way a daughter realizes she will never come first. That night she sat alone in her bedroom. Tears streamed down her face. Then she made a promise to herself. If nobody was coming to save her, she would save herself. What happened next changed everything. Emily took 2 jobs, then 3. She studied during lunch breaks, worked nights, worked weekends, and somehow kept moving forward. She smiled in public, but cried alone at night. Nobody noticed how exhausted she was. Nobody noticed how many meals she skipped. Nobody noticed how many times she wanted to give up. Every insult became fuel. Every disappointment became motivation. Every rejection made her stronger. Before we continue, have you ever felt like someone in your family was always chosen over you? Like no matter how hard you tried, your efforts were never enough? If you've ever experienced something like that, tell us in the comments. And let us know where you're watching from today. What city and country are you in? We love hearing from our broken then powerful family around the world. Now let's continue. Years passed. While Rachel enjoyed vacations, parties, and financial support, Emily built her future one exhausting day at a time. She graduated, started working in healthcare, learned everything she could, and slowly began building a business focused on helping patients afford medical treatment, the same type of treatment she once struggled to afford herself. It wasn't easy. There were setbacks, failures, moments she almost gave up. But something inside her had changed. She stopped asking for permission, stopped waiting for validation, stopped chasing approval from people who never intended to give it. And little by little, her life transformed. 8 years later, Emily was no longer struggling. She owned a successful healthcare company. She employed dozens of people. She owned a beautiful home. And for the first time in her life, she was truly happy. Then one rainy Tuesday afternoon, her phone rang. The caller ID made her freeze. "Mom." Emily hadn't spoken to her family in months. After a long pause, she answered. The voice on the other end sounded different. Smaller, weaker. Her mother was crying. Her father's construction company was collapsing. Several bad investments had wiped out most of their savings. Rachel was drowning in debt after years of financial mistakes. And now, the family that once refused to buy Emily's medicine desperately needed help. Emily sat in silence. Memories flooded her mind. The dining room table, the diagnosis, the word no, the years of loneliness, the years of struggle, the years of pain. For the first time, the balance of power had completely shifted. The question was no longer whether Emily could help them. The question was whether she should. A week later, the family gathered at her office. The same family who once saw her as less important. The same family who chose Rachel every single time. Now they sat nervously across from her. The room felt strangely quiet. Her father couldn't even meet her eyes. Finally, he spoke. "We were wrong." Emily had waited years to hear those words. Yet somehow, they didn't bring the satisfaction she expected. Her mother began crying. "We failed you." Rachel lowered her head. "I'm sorry." For a moment, nobody spoke. Then Emily took a deep breath. "I spent years wishing you would choose me." Tears filled her eyes. "I spent years wondering what was wrong with me." The room went silent. "There was never anything wrong with me." Her father began crying, because he finally understood. The daughter he overlooked had become the strongest person in the family. The daughter he refused to support had built a life entirely on her own. and the daughter he underestimated was now the only person who could save them. Emily eventually agreed to help, not because they deserved it, but because she refused to become the kind of person who had hurt her. Forgiveness didn't erase the past, but it allowed her to move forward. And sometimes, moving forward is the greatest victory of all. Have you ever been underestimated by someone you trusted? Have you ever been treated like your dreams mattered less than someone else's? Let us know in the comments. And if you've gone through something similar, feel free to share your story with us. You can even email us. Some of the most powerful stories come from real people who refuse to give up. And before you go, tell us where you're watching from. What city and country are you in today? If this story touched your heart, subscribe to Broken Then Powerful for more stories of betrayal, resilience, healing, and unexpected triumph. Because sometimes the people who overlook your value become the very people who witness your success. And sometimes the daughter they ignored becomes the woman they can no longer ignore.